Yo. How you living? How you feeling? How you doing? Brandon, Ed, and Alex back. First Choice Fantasy. What's the topic today, boys and boys?
Boys and boys.
We're doing a video?
That's the topic?
The video. Or the boys and boys.
Anyway, ignore this. Let's just get into this late round ADP dislikes. So on that note, pull out some scissors, pull out a knife if you'd like. Just
slice it.
Slice the intro like piece pizza.
I said, baby, I am not the one to play with. Ain't the type to give up, I'm driven and motivated. I just want some recognition and some compensation. But this ain't about the money and it ain't about the fame. I got lightning in a bottle, I think I just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning out. Lightning in a bottle, I think I just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning out.
Well, I don't know if you guys have ever actually tried to throw knives. It is very difficult. I don't think I ever did.
Throwing axes is difficult.
Never attempted that, but I believe it.
I boffed the back of my head the one time. It wasn't too good.
A guy I know from work.
Yeah, you could chip the back of your head.
Is big into axe throwing.
It's enjoyable. I'll tell you what. I feel like pure.
It seemed like he's gotten fairly good at it.
I don't know how it was. Oh yeah, you can when you get a rhythm down. It's pretty enjoyable, pretty good. But just like calling out these ADP dislikes in these late rounds, and we're starting off with round 8.
Hey.
Tevin Coleman for who was that for? Me and Alex? Yeah, me and Alex.
I don't really want to touch Tevin Coleman.
Yeah, I'm not touching him with a 10-foot pole, even like a 25-foot pole. Like,
especially because like every other running back in this round.
Yeah, it's kind of like you guys ever watched The Grinch and was like, wait, what? How did he do it? It was like dislike or hate, loathe entirely. You know what I'm saying? That is.
Never actually watched the entire Grinch movie.
Brandon, if you have editing skills, you should definitely clip that into there.
Clip it in.
Just to put him doing that thing. Hate, loathe entirely. Tevin Coleman, loathing entirely. Don't like him. Get him out of my face in the 8th round. All right, Alex, you don't want to touch him? You don't want to talk on him?
I don't even know if there's much to talk about. I feel like he gets hurt a lot. Is he really that good?
He's not
and
good.
It's the 49ers. Running backs on the 49ers are scary to begin with.
Oh, I had a question on somebody's podcast today. I got a question for you guys based on that. Would you rather have the 49ers entire backfield in fantasy or the Patriots entire backfield in fantasy?
I guess what that
How many
comes
of
down
them
to
would
is,
you need to start?
Would you rather have Mostert, Coleman, and like 8 other guys from the Niners who could be potential options? Or would you rather have Michelle and White?
And Burkhead.
Guess Damian Harris. I don't count Burkhead.
I would definitely choose 49ers, but I guess we can move on from this.
I was thinking 49ers.
Just because.
Brandon, who's your dislike this one?
Hunter Henry. Blah.
HH. Triple H almost. Hunter Henry hates
It's
Harry.
close.
What's his middle name?
Has to be Harris.
Harry. Hunter Harry Henry. All right. Hunter Harry Henry.
Smart.
Not really much to say about him. I'm leaning off of him as a tight end. I'm not normally picking tight ends in these rounds. If I'm going to take one, I'm waiting for a value. And, I mean, I pointed out previous episodes. Go check it out. The values of these late rounds, Austin Hooper. And he's grabbed up in the 10th round, 8th pick. I mean, you got Hunter Henry going 8th round, 5th pick. All right, well, Hooper produced last year, and he's on a different team. It's sketchy. Okay, well, Hunter Henry just lost this quarterback. So how's he going to fare? Why is he being drafted in the 8th? Not feeling the draft capital when it comes to Henry. I think he produced last year, and I believe there's a shot he could be good. Of course there is, but I'm not taking that shot personally.
Facts. I agree. And the passing volume is probably going to be less than it was last year. And with Tyrod Taylor, he's more likely to scramble than toss it to Hunter Henry. And, yeah, a lot of things go into play there. I agree. Round 9. You guys dislike Latavius Murray, while I am the lone wolf over here disliking Mecole Hardman in the 9th round.
You're alone, but not alone. I'm not on the same page, but I'm on the other page, looking at that page, thinking,
Is he on the back side of the page?
I like Hardman. I just think that's too hot.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I like Hardman, but
I like Hardman, but
that's too hot.
He's getting drafted in front of Darius Slayton? No. Deontay Johnson?
He's over Deontay and Judy and Slayton and like 9 other guys.
Yeah. Which, that's why I dislike him here. If he was, say, in the 11th round, he may be my pick. I don't get why he's getting drafted 10 picks in front of Sammy Watkins either, or 10 wide receivers in front of Sammy Watkins. It's another questionable thing, but I just dislike him for the purpose of him being ranked too high in ADP. But
I understand him over Watkins because Watkins literally had 1 game last year.
yeah.
I understand it over him, but I don't understand it in the big gap, like 10 wide receiver. If it's like 2 wide receivers off him, sure, I understand that. But 10, there's way too big a gap.
I would take Hardman over Watkins, no brainer. However, like I said, there's a lot of dudes here I would take before Hardman in the 9th round. So.
I mean, Jerry Jeudy is the next round. I'd rather Jeudy than Hardman. Hardman, it was a result of Tyreek Hill being injured, him finding a way on the field. And who knows, it could happen again this year with Watkins getting hurt or
he could just
whoever else is
Watkins if they just finally accept that Watkins isn't good.
Well, nonetheless, he's still there.
Is he? How is he good?
He shows up when he wants to show up.
He had 1 game last year over 10 fantasy points playing with Patrick fucking Mahomes.
It's true. You're not wrong on that note. Speaking straight facts of that one. But let's get into your guys' dislike for the round.
I'm not taking a handcuff in round 9. That's
boom, drops the eggshell. Why didn't you dislike Madison then? Just because of the fact that Dalvin Cook holdout and whatnot?
Why didn't you dislike? Yeah. Because I think Madison is – I don't really think Murray's even that good.
It's kind of like Carlos Hyde in a way.
And, I mean, yeah, I don't like Madison in this round either.
I would probably take Murray above Madison, but I would not touch either in the 9th round.
I think Cook has a greater chance of getting injured.
Yeah.
That is true, but you've seen –
That's why I take Madison.
I also think Madison's just more talented than Murray. So.
Well, that's where we disagree. I guess we can move on to round –
Throw in Tevin Coleman. Who would you rather take, Tevin Coleman, Latavius Murray, or Madison?
Tevin Coleman.
Same here. I mean, it's a pretty wide swing within like rounds. So
I guess I would take Coleman with the intent of trading him, but if you told me I had to keep him on the roster the whole year, I would take Madison.
It's fair. It's fair.
All right. You got anything to say about Mr. Murray, Brandon?
No. Just that, I mean, he's a handcuff. I'm not drafting a handcuff within the 10th round. That's for like 13th, 14th round, in my opinion.
I agree. All right. Round 11. I have Sammy Watkins as my dislike, wide receiver 48. A ton of other names below
around here.
We are. Round 10. Tweak on me. Jared Cook is my dislike. And Jared Cook is a dislike for multiple reasons that I don't really know. So I dislike him. That's all I got to say. I'd rather have Hayden Hurst, who is tight end 12, or even Austin Hooper. I'd take them all over him. I would take him probably tight end 15, maybe tight end 16 behind Hawkinson. But, yeah, I'm not a big fan of him tight end 11 in the 10th round.
Yeah.
I debated taking Cook as my dislike here.
And who is your dislike as a result of not taking Cook?
Darrel Henderson. As I do.
Darrel Henderson.
Darrel? I don't know.
Too much of a question mark.
Cardor Henderson.
I'm not feeling him right here in this year 10th round.
This group of players that are right here, I would definitely rather everybody else compared to him.
Yeah, I was looking at like the names after that. I'm like, oh, everybody. I'm not a huge fan of Daniel Jones at that spot, but like.
Even if I have a roster full of quarterbacks, I'm taking one of these quarterbacks. Like, if I have no running backs, I'm staying away from Darrell Henderson. It's probably a little rough.
I mean,
I wouldn't draft him.
Christian Kirk is being drafted 3 picks before Henderson. If Kirk would
Judy is
ball,
after Henderson,
I would take Kirk.
I am offended.
Judy is indeed after Henderson.
Yeah, and I take Judy definitely over Henderson. I'd take Matthew Stafford over Henderson. If
There's
you're
a
going
shit
late
ton of
round
guys at the end
quarterback,
of this, like
I'd
in
be
this
taking
draft after
Hooper.
Henderson, who I would take over Henderson.
I would take Zach Moss over Henderson.
Oh, so
Dropping
would I,
it
easily.
even further, I'd take Jalen Rager over Henderson.
Let
My
me go
God,
look
that's
in
a
this here.
13th round.
I would
I'd take
take
Jimmy
Anthony McFarland over Henderson. Fight me.
Who? Anthony McFarland. I would do the same thing.
Give me Joshua Kelly too.
Damn.
I'll take Joshua Kelly.
There's a lot of receivers here that I would even take over.
All right, I think that's just the memo here. We'll take literally anyone over Darrell Henderson.
Darrell Henderson should be undrafted. Don't listen to the
Naeem
offseason talk.
Hines is even
Wow.
like there well after, and he's got way more upside in my opinion. Well, no, never mind. Henderson has more upside, just way more question.
I don't think he has more upside.
I don't think he does either.
Wow. Okay, maybe it wasn't far off.
Now let's talk about
Let's make fun of Sammy Watkins.
Mr. Watkins. Yeah, shall we?
Yeah. What the hell? Who
Thinks he is
does
a
he
lizard.
think he is?
A lizard.
That man produced one game, and guess what? No one.
Congrats to
valued him
everyone
last
who
year.
traded him after that one game.
I tried to, but no one kept the value I was thinking I'd get back. Like I was seeing like people trading away crazy things for Sammy Watkins. I was hoping for that, and I held on too long. I ended up with him the whole year. So why is someone drafting Sammy freaking Watkins in the 11th round? No, you can drop where Robbie Anderson is going, maybe even lower. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Now, why, if you had all that to say, why didn't you just dislike him yourself?
Well, you did. So.
But why didn't you?
Why didn't I? Because you did, and I wanted
Because
to,
he wanted to
talk about Cam Newton and how much I also think he should fall. Because
he should rise in my eyes, but go ahead.
You're rising him, I'm dropping him, man. Like
Rise,
Cam Newton. Last year, I watched the Tampa Bay.
We were all watching that game because we were talking about it in the group chat.
We all
remember
were
that game.
sitting amongst each other saying, wow,
he's really bad.
They both were like deep route. Curtis Samuel going down the field. Oh, he throws it 20 yards out of bounds. Oh, I'm going to sign him, and everyone's thinking he's a starting quarterback. Like, I respect what the man has done. I just am skeptical of this pick. He signed for cheap. Who knows? It might work out. He might pull a new pair of shoulders out and trot on the field and be a whole new man. Like, who knows? But I'm not taking that risk.
Wrong.
Okay. I agree.
I disagree heavily.
There's so many quarterbacks late here.
If you
Cam Newton hurt his foot like in the preseason, isn't that when he hurt his foot like originally? All I gotta say is he had 3 rush attempts in his first game, 2 in the second. There was something
because he wasn't used in the running attack at all.
Yeah, but if they start using him as a running back in New England,
his conservatism.
He won't last 2 weeks.
Why is that?
Because he's like in his 30s, dude, and he's taken like a running back's amount of hits over the years. I think you're starting to see that catch up with him. Like the guy was an animal when he was younger, but like those running, especially because he wasn't even like a Vic type of running quarterback. Like he was a whole new guy. He was a power running quarterback. You know, like you might never see one of those again.
All right, real quick, Cam Newton at the position he's being drafted, or Drew Lock at the position he's being drafted.
Cam Newton, 100%.
Cam Newton, 100%. 13th round, I believe.
300%.
9th pick for Drew Lock. Alex, where do you stand? I'm standing on Drew Lock's side. I take that.
If I have to take Newton in the 11th and Lock in the 13th, I'm taking Lock.
I would take a swing at a player like Mike Williams.
I would consider taking Newton and hope that maybe if he has a good game or two, I can flip him for something, but that depends on who's in the league.
And that quarterbacks, you can't flip them for much. Even if Cam Newton came out and had decent, like, production, you're not going to flip him for what you expect. There's just too many quarterbacks this year that are going to produce, and I'm not going to trade assets for a quarterback that produced a few weeks, but has downside still.
I'm in my own corner with Cam Newton, and
I mean, you're good. I understand it. Like
you seeing Tim Tebow? What did he do? Let's see what he did whenever Mr.
baseball?
McDaniels when he played baseball. When what's his name? McDaniels was I believe he was the head coach over in Denver. Let me pull up these stats just so I can see, so you can see, just so we can all see.
Well, me.
I'm operating under the assumption that Cam Newton's shoulder will never be what it was when he first came in the league.
Bro, big two.
I feel like I've watched this guy struggle to throw out routes for like 4 years.
I feel like we also all disliked Mr. Tebow when he was in the league. Am I incorrect on that one?
Tebow was in the league a little before I actually really paid attention to football.
It's fair. All right, this is what Tebow was looking like. Okay, in 11
paid attention
games
to other teams.
In 11 games started, wasn't looking too hot. He had 12 touchdowns throwing, 1,700 yards. He managed to have 122 rush attempts in 11 games.
You think Newton will do that and survive?
I don't think that's.
I think you're insane if you think he's going to get 10 carries a game and not die.
Because he is 31 years old. Is that the only thing?
I don't think it's insane.
Those injuries add up.
But it's highly.
All he has to
sketchy.
do is tweak his shoulder or tweak his foot, and he's done.
I get what you're saying, but I feel like a hit is not going to tweak your bottom of your foot.
It could. All it takes is one little hit.
All it takes is him
from the
falling down a step
game.
and hurting himself.
Yeah, sure. But I'm just saying that you've seen this with quarterbacks as they age. These hits add up, especially with their running guys. And this is a guy who's taking
Cam Newton
insane
is not
amount
a regular
of
quarterback.
Huh?
Cam Newton is not a regular quarterback. You know this.
Exactly. But if they try to play him like a regular quarterback, then his value already goes down a little bit. And if they try to use him as the running back, I think he's just going to hurt again.
I disagree. That's all I got to say.
That and the Patriots aren't exactly loaded with offensive talent.
All you got to do is rush a little bit. Get a couple rushing touchdowns.
14 games.
He'll play 15 games this year, and he will be the quarterback 10 on the year.
I would bet.
That's my crystal ball right here. Just imagine it.
Go
along with it.
See it.
Go along with it. Crystal ball. All right. On that note, let's jump rounds to what is it? Round 12 we're in now? Oh, no. Ben Roethlisberger. Let's have anything about Mr. Roethlisberger, Alex?
I would take a lot of quarterbacks in the later rounds ahead of him. That's pretty much the only thing I had there.
I agree.
I agree as well.
That's pretty much next round.
Round 12. We got Rashaad Penny. Do we all dislike Rashaad Penny in this round?
I dislike Rashaad. I'm sorry.
We did, didn't we?
I believe
we did all dislike Rashaad Penny.
I would shift. I'm going to shift mine just for the simple fact that I don't dislike Rashaad Penny like that, but just the ACL that worries me. I'd rather dislike Alshon Jeffery.
I was thinking that myself. I feel like I just kind of glazed over.
I was thinking Alshon too, but I think we already addressed Alshon in his situation.
I would still list him as a dislike, though.
True. Well, let's low-key list him as high-key list him as a Alshon Jeffery as a, stay away from. Why is he in the 12th round? What is happening?
I don't know.
No clue. But what I do know is that Rashaad Penny tore his ACL last year. I don't know if you guys seen that video of Mr. Penny and the ladders. He was going crazy. He was moving faster than Jameis Winston on his last interception in that video we talked about earlier.
Oh, that's pretty fast.
Very fast. It's extremely fast.
If you can move like that and score every play.
Yeah. All right. Do you guys want to talk about Penny at all? You two?
I mean, he seems like he's got good athletic ability and solid running ability, but he just got hurt. Are they going to use him?
I mean, he was looking pretty freaking amazing last year.
He was.
He did look pretty solid. Looking back on it, I might actually go with Jeffrey instead of Penny here. I don't exactly love Penny in this spot either.
I mean, I would definitely choose Alshon Jeffery, but for the sake of the show, Rashaad Penny's my dislike. I mean,
Like this man, Rashaad Penny, when he got 10 carries plus in the past 2 years, oh my God, his average is through the roof. His yards per carry average is beautiful. I mean, there's one game where he had 10 carries, 30 yards, but he had 12 carries for 108 yards in 2018.
I just wonder if some of those are because of big plays. I remember when we played them, they gave him a few carries, and he didn't really do anything, and then he busted one for a lot of yards.
Yeah,
I believe it, but I mean, that's not necessarily you can't take that away from him per se.
No.
Because looking at true yards per carry on Player Profiler last year, he ranked second in the league, which is something of note because true yards per carry just takes away all your 10-plus yard carries.
Right,
so taking all those away, he averaged 5.1 yards per carry, which is
he's looked good when they put him in the game. It's just that they haven't put him in the game.
That's true.
I don't know what the hell they're doing over there with their drafting and
AJ
coaching.
DeLon also being drafted there.
That's Green Bay.
Never mind.
They did draft.
They drafted. Okay, that's it. DJ Dallas.
That needs to stop.
I mixed those two up because both of them are kind of in similar situations.
If Penny never gets an opportunity, I will feel failed by Seattle. It's not like I'm a fan of Seattle, but I will feel beyond failed because his usage in his rookie year, nothing. His usage in his second year, nothing.
Picks away. I don't understand it.
It's not like he's not good either. That's what I don't understand. Like, why would you draft somebody in the first round, barely use him rookie year? I get that. Second year, still barely use him, and whenever you do use him in big bursts, like he looks good.
Even honestly, even if I take a running back in the first round, he damn well better be on the field.
Yeah,
I'm not taking a fucking project at running back in the first round. That is insanity.
Beyond insanity. Yeah.
I think Seattle keeps winning because of Russell Wilson.
Entirely.
But I feel like they have totally mismanaged that team.
Entirely.
Like, both from a coaching standpoint and from a drafting standpoint, they just keep throwing first-round picks away. They took a guy from, TCU, a pass rusher, who did jack shit last year.
And then
took a middle linebacker this year who, was projected to go in the second or third round.
Well, I guess you will never learn as a Pete Carroll.
I just don't like
Pete Carroll. Oh, no, I don't like him either. He's not intelligent.
You're wasting the prime of one of the most talented quarterbacks to ever play the game by insisting he hands the ball off 85 times a game, not letting him throw it unless they absolutely need to.
Exactly. Nothing logical in Seattle happening, really. Anyway, I guess we can move on to the 13th round, where Jimmy Garappolo is Alex's dislike. And I agree, but it's not my dislike. That is Brandon's dislike. I agree, but it's not my dislike.
All right. Jimmy G, he's the tier of quarterback, or just him in general. He's the type of quarterback where I'd rather wait on picking up Joe Burrow, Drew Lock, any of those guys. I'd rather have Tannehill even. Left him out. I mean, who else? Is there another quarterback here? I mean, Tua, I probably wouldn't draft. Teddy Bridgewater might be the next guy where I'm kind of questioning going Teddy or
Bridgewater and Garappolo just kind of seem like similar people to me.
Same exact person. Yep. Yeah.
I think
whichever you like after the couch more on their teams, honestly.
Yeah. And I would honestly like Teddy Bridgewater more so because, CMC,
DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, Ian Thomas isn't bad.
Robbie Anderson even taking off the top. It's going to open up a lot. I think, although he's not really exciting, Teddy Bridgewater is a pretty decent potential pick at the first round of the 15th round. First pick of the 15th round.
I agree. I don't like the fact that Garoppolo's 5 quarterbacks above him, just due to the fact I'm assuming is because he has targets that get the yards after they catch the ball, the yards after catch, when the Panthers have that as well.
And they just lost Emmanuel Sanders. And, we haven't seen a lot of Jimmy Garoppolo before Sanders. So they lost Sanders. They lost Breda.
And they're a run-heavy team.
Yeah, they're a run-heavy team with injury-prone running backs. So this team offensively could be fucked pretty fast.
It's not that good.
I was gonna say, Alex, why aren't you ripping Garoppolo apart right now? Like
I
I
feel
thought
like
you
I've
hated
already
him.
We're
talked
paving the
about
way.
that albatross of the contract that was an overpay as soon as they gave it to him.
You did. You definitely did.
Yeah,
I don't need to express my disappointment with that anymore.
it's like a Brock Osweiler
He's
contract.
a game manager.
Practically, yeah.
But
You saw it in the Super Bowl when they needed him
Terrible.
to make plays. He responded with nothing.
nah, I'd rather not.
Like, they had to bullshit their way to offense in that entire game, which
That's
Shanahan
what I'm
is good
saying.
at. But, like, that defense carried that team along with Shanahan.
Yeah,
That reminded me of, like, McVay and the Rams,
yeah. It's
where,
exactly.
like, everyone but the quarterback gets them to the Super Bowl, and then when it's the Super Bowl, the quarterback needs to perform.
That's why I'm saying 49ers. I mean, in my books, they're a high candidate for a huge digression. It's just
I don't know if they will be that bad because they still have
Oh,
probably the best defensive line in the league.
I think
And an
if
incredible
they were
defense
to
boot.
fall, it would be offensively. I think that
Shanahan,
doesn't mean they're gonna fall to like outside the playoffs. I still think they're gonna go playoff bound, but it might be in a
If you're talking like a step
First
back to
spot.
11-5, I can buy that.
maybe a little lower, 10-6,
About a 5-7.
9-7. 9-7 would be probably
2-2.
the furthest.
2-2. We're only getting 4 games in. Shit.
I would be so upset. Anyway,
I am prepared for that to happen.
let's just touch on these last couple players because they're not really. I mean, Phillip Rivers. You have anything to say about Phillip Rivers, Alex?
He's bad.
He's bad. Arm's
He's bad.
gone.
He's bad. Don't draft Phillip Rivers. Also, don't draft Jamaal Williams either before you get into that.
Yeah, I'm not.
What the
gonna
hell
get into
you'd be
it.
thinking
Yeah.
drafting Jamaal Williams?
Yeah,
Williams
yeah,
was
bonkers.
actually my pick at first, but then I wanted to go with Jimmy G because I know how much Alex dislikes him.
I just wanted to
I
point
also
out
wanted
that
to
you
say I
shouldn't
don't
be
like him.
drafting Phillip Rivers.
Yeah,
You shouldn't be drafting any quarterback, honestly, after I'm going to say Cam Newton, but you guys wouldn't agree. But after Cam Newton, I think all those quarterbacks waiver
You
wire.
wouldn't
waiver
draft
wire.
Tannehill?
Oh, I'm incorrect. Yeah, I would draft Tannehill. That's probably it, though. I'm not drafting Burrow. I'm not drafting Garappolo. I'm not drafting Kirk. I'm not drafting Rivers.
Burrow.
I do Drew Lock,
Drew Lock's not a bad idea just for an upside swing, but
but
as
most
far
likely I'd pair Drew Lock with like Wentz or someone.
I also don't hate Jared Goff. I wouldn't want him in that round. But I don't hate him.
I
don't like him
wouldn't
as
say.
a player. But
Fair.
if we're just talking fantasy points,
I think this year is his year. I mean, that's pretty bold, I guess you could say, but I think in fantasy he's gonna get back up to the
decent.
top
And
10.
this is
year, I think.
Golf you're speaking on behalf of?
Goff, yeah.
Golf? Okay.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, I can see it happening. I understand.
Finished
that.
quarterback 13 last year, which wasn't bad. And then whenever they did do that whole 2 tight end shenanigans last year, he only had 2 games that were below 15 points, 18 points, 3 games, I lied. And I mean, I believe they had one of the best, like he was sacked the least among all quarterbacks last year, but I'm pretty sure they ran the most pass plays maybe or something like that. I don't know. But he had the least sacks last year, which is intriguing.
that's good.
My strategy, if I'm going with the quarterback similar to Jared Goff, I would pair them with a late round quarterback. I'm willing to stash a second quarterback if I'm going a guy who I could possibly drop.
What you said earlier about the Carson Wentz Drew Lock combo, I don't know
Yeah.
if I would do that just for the fact that they're both risky. Like, you know what I mean? Like, sure, it'd be nice to have, like, say Carson Wentz goes down, then you have
I like
Drew
the
Lock.
I like having the odds. So like, if Wentz were to go down, I mean it's possible. And then you got Drew Lock, he could break out. It's possible. I mean,
But you're looking at a
there's
negative and
also
a
the
positive.
negative
You're not,
side. Yeah,
the
I
double
think the
negative.
positive.
Like, there is no real negative, like, say, with a Matt Ryan. Say he could get hurt. Yeah, that's the negative there. But, I mean, like, you can couple Matt Ryan with Drew Lock. I don't see Matt Ryan getting hurt necessarily like a Carson Wentz would. So, like, you're not really gambling on Drew Lock at that point. Like, it's like an upside pick. Like, have him on my bench. If he doesn't do anything first couple of weeks, cut him. I'll just get a new quarterback to pick up or something like that.
That's similar to what I did in our league. I did Drew Lock and Drew Brees in the Dynasty. And I paired him with Jameis Winston also. But, no, yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Keep Jadeveon Clowney away from Carson Wentz.
Really.
I think it'll be fun.
Quarterbacks are the position where I'm willing to take two negatives and pair them together because I like the odds of at least one of them being positive, like Wentz not getting hurt or Drew Lock becomes great. One of them might happen, one of them or both. Who knows?
One of them will happen.
It's true.
That's the beauty of going late round quarterbacks. You have so many more options. I mean, they might not be as good, but I mean the upside is there still.
Very true. I'm just gonna skip Jamaal Williams. He's my dislike for this round. Don't need to say anything about the man. He's shitty. Then 14th round we got Adrian Peterson for both of y'all.
Sorry, dude. Time's passed.
Yeah, gonna have to pass.
Good
They
career.
brought in a lot of running backs, and I think it's time for someone to emerge.
I was surprised you guys didn't say Carlos Hyde.
Nah,
I thought
I'd rather
about that. I
roster
actually
Hyde.
thought one of you guys would mention him.
I thought about it.
I would take Evans over Hyde.
I wouldn't touch either of them. I was thinking about saying
sorry.
Tyrell Williams. What the fuck? I was going to say Tyrell Williams just because I feel like his time's past there. Like, sure, they signed him to a nice contract and whatnot, but I would take Bryan Edwards. I would take Hunter Renfrow. I would take Henry Ruggs all over him for good reason. So
I mean, Henry Ruggs is going 3 rounds before him, so hopefully you're not making that decision.
on Sleeper, yeah. But I believe I've seen it on Fantasy Football Calculator or something like that. Their ADPs, Ruggs was behind Tyrell Williams. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oddly. I mean, it's pretty weird because it's 47 in Sleeper and 61, but it is what it is. It's just Sleeper ADPs in case anybody was curious where we got these from. If you're still in this video watching.
yeah.
Darrynton Evans, I just don't. Rookie behind Derrick Henry, who was a monster, if you will.
Ooh.
And, I don't really
I think they spent a 3rd-round pick on him intending to use him a little bit. And like I've said before, I would hope someone would realize that they can't give Derrick Henry 30 carries a game for the rest of his career, or else he won't finish out that contract.
Oh, yeah, I understand that. But, I mean, let's be real. You can't really bank on logical coaching decisions or just decisions like that, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I guess not. Although, I don't know. We have mentioned a lot about shitty managerial decisions, mostly in Seattle, in this episode. But it just seems odd that you take a running back in the third round, which is a solid use of draft capital, just to sit him on the bench for his entire career.
It's also questionable to draft A.J. Dillon in the second round.
Seattle does that every year with their first-round picks. So.
True.
Yeah, this is true. That's true. Then what do we got? We got 15th round. Dede Westbrook dislike on my part. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. There's not much upside with that. I think it is, yeah. I mean,
I would take him in a heartbeat over Allen Lazard.
I would say.
And Corey Davis.
I
don't see Dede's
I
upside.
would take other people over Davis.
I think he gets faded out of the offense and it's practically gone by next year.
I like Dede. I hope the best for the man, but I'm most likely not drafting him in most draft leagues. But, I mean, as a free agent, I'd be interested in keeping an eye on him. Someone who I don't care about pretty much at all is Mr. Irrelevant. I think Alex and I agree with another running back.
Yeah, Jaylen Samuels is.
Yeah. He's had his chances and he didn't produce. So
yeah, he was like. I'm pretty sure they saw him as kind of this hybrid guy coming out of NC State or whatever. Oh, he can do a little bit of everything. And sure, he can do a little bit of everything. Just
but
none
it's
of
not
it well.
great. Yeah.
Not even.
Yeah.
A very little bit of everything.
Yeah. McFarland's going in front of him. So.
Has to, yeah. Guess that's all we got for this episode. Boys.
That's all we got. And it was a lot.
It was a ton. It was like a workout over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the energy's pretty off, but I mean, the question of the day, I guess we'll go with like, what's your favorite number and why?
7.
27.
I was literally thinking that, bro.
7.
7 was on top of my head, but I'm not going to go with 7. It's 4. It has to be 4.
7.
27.
Why 27?
7.
It's the day of my birthday. And also, when I played football, that was my jersey number.
I don't like my birthday number.
But I like 27 also because Brandon Jacobs was one of my favorite running backs at the time, and he was he was a giant,
7.
but
He was indeed.
he was a monster, man.
He was.
He was like back then he was similar to Derrick Henry. That's what I viewed him as. I was like, oh man, he's a monster. Now we have a Derrick Henry, and we're like, but
Didn't they do like a fire, earth, and water or something like that with their running backs at one point? Or it was like lightning, thunder. It was like
it was like Tiki Barber and
Rashaad,
I believe, and that other guy.
Yeah. It was pretty neat. Boy, why is yours 7, Alex?
7's just a great number.
I knew it was gonna
the
be
amount of days in a week.
It's just very aesthetically pleasing. Now I wish I was born on the 7th. That's disappointing. I got stuck with a crappy ass birthday date.
What's that?
The 22nd.
22nd.
Bro, that's dope. Mine's the 19th. Who the hell wants 1-9?
Yeah.
But
22nd. Stupid.
oh, all right. Well, I guess that'll do it for the First Choice Fantasy podcast.
Right.
ABTCEFGHIJK ADP
What?
dislikes in the late rounds. First Choice Fantasy. So, like, comment, subscribe, share. Please do it all. We love you. Love us. Deuces.
Later.